In this video, I will be explaining the BSc third semester subject Zoology, Animal Physiology and Animal Behavior as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 2 first important short question is Homeostasis. Homeostasis means keeping the internal conditions of the body stable even when the outside environment changes. Every living organism, from a tiny amoeba to humans, maintains homeostasis to survive. Think of homeostasis like a room AC. If the room becomes too hot, the AC cools it. If it becomes too cold, the AC stops. Similarly, our body keeps conditions like temperature, water level, salt level, pH, and glucose level balanced. Example: when your body temperature rises during summer, you start sweating. Sweat evaporates and cools your body. When your body becomes cold in winter, you start shivering. Shivering produces heat. Both are homeostatic actions. Why is it important? Because all body enzymes and cells work properly only in stable conditions. If homeostasis fails, the body cannot function normally. In simple words, homeostasis is equal to body's self-control system that keeps everything balanced so we stay healthy. Next important short question is 2. Chloride shift. Chloride shift, also called the hamburger phenomenon, is a process that helps in the transport of carbon dioxide, CO, in our blood. It mainly happens inside RBCs, red blood cells. When tissues release CO, it enters the RBC and combines with water to form bicarbonate ion, HCl. This bicarbonate must leave the RBC and enter the plasma. But if a negative ion goes out, another negative ion must come in, otherwise the charge balance will be disturbed. So, chloride ions, Cl, from plasma enter the RBC as bicarbonate leaves. This exchange is called chloride shift. Simple example. Imagine a bus, RBC, with one student getting down bicarbonate. To keep the bus balanced, one new student gets in, chloride. This keeps the bus stable. Why is it important? Maintains electrical balance of RBCs. Helps carry more CO from tissues to lungs. Keeps blood pH stable. In short, chloride shift is equal to exchange of bicarbonate out and chloride in, helping CO transport smoothly. Next important short question is 3. Bohr's effect. Bohr's effect explains how oxygen, O, is released more easily from hemoglobin when the conditions in the body change, especially when CO increases. When tissues are working, like during running, they produce more CO and become slightly acidic. These changes make hemoglobin lose its grip on oxygen. So, hemoglobin releases more oxygen to the active tissues. Simple example. Think of hemoglobin as a delivery man holding oxygen packets. When muscles are working hard, they shout, "We need more oxygen," by producing more CO. Hearing this, the delivery man quickly drops the oxygen packets. That fast dropping is Bohr's effect. Main points to remember. High CO is equal to more O released. Low pH, acidic condition, is equal to more O released. Happens especially in actively working muscles. Why useful? Because it ensures oxygen goes exactly where the body needs it most. In short, Bohr's effect is equal to CO increases, hemoglobin releases more oxygen. Next important short question is 4. Tachycardia. Tachycardia means that the heart is beating faster than normal. In adults, if the heartbeat goes above 100 beats per minute, It is called tachycardia. A normal heart rate is usually 72 beats per minute. Our heart beats faster when the body needs more oxygen and energy. So sometimes tachycardia is normal, like during running, climbing stairs, exercise, fear, or excitement. This is called physiological tachycardia. But if the heart beats very fast even at rest, it may be due to problems like stress, fever, dehydration, anemia, thyroid overactivity, or heart disorders. Simple example. Imagine your heart is like a water pump. If more water is needed quickly, the pump works faster. Similarly, when your body needs more oxygen, the heart pumps faster. This fast pumping is tachycardia. Symptoms may include fast heartbeat, dizziness, weakness, shortness of breath. In short, tachycardia is equal to heart beating too fast, above 100 bpm. Next important short question is 5. Myogenic heart. A myogenic heart is a heart that can beat on its own without needing any nerve signals from the brain. The heartbeat starts from special muscle cells present in the heart itself. These cells act like a natural pacemaker. In humans and most vertebrates, the SA node, sinoatrial node, works as this pacemaker. It creates electrical impulses that make the heart contract rhythmically. Simple example. Think of a myogenic heart like a clock that winds itself. Even if you remove it from the body for a short time, it can still keep beating because the signal comes from inside the heart muscle. Where found? Humans, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians. Why useful? Because the heart can maintain a steady rhythm and adjust its speed automatically during rest, exercise, or stress. In short, myogenic heart is equal to heart that generates its own heartbeat using muscle cells, like the SA node, not nerves. Next unit 2. Long questions. First important long question is 1. Write in brief about concept of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the process by which living organisms maintain a stable internal environment even when the external environment keeps changing. Every organism, from unicellular amoeba to humans, depends on homeostasis to survive. Without it, the body's organs, enzymes, and cells cannot work properly. Meaning of homeostasis. The word homeostasis comes from two Greek words. Homeo is equal to same. Stasis is equal to steady condition. So, homeostasis means keeping the body conditions constant. Our body controls many things through homeostasis. Body temperature, water level, blood sugar, blood pressure, pH level, salt balance. How does homeostasis work? The body uses 3 steps. 1. Receptor, sensor detects change. 2. Control center, brain decides what to do. 3. Effector, organs take action to correct the change. This process works like a feedback system, mainly negative feedback. Example 1. Body temperature regulation. If body temperature rises, like during summer, the brain signals sweat glands to produce sweat, which cools the body. If temperature falls, in winter, the body starts shivering to produce heat. This helps maintain a constant body temperature around 37 degrees Celsius. Example 2. Blood sugar regulation. After eating, glucose level rises. The pancreas releases insulin to lower it. If sugar level drops, the pancreas releases glucagon to raise it. Thus, sugar levels stay balanced. Example 3. Water balance. When the body has less water, the brain triggers thirst and kidneys conserve water. When excess water is present, Kidneys produce more diluted urine. Importance of homeostasis. Keeps internal environment suitable for enzyme function. Maintains normal functioning of organs. Protects the body from diseases. Helps in survival during environmental changes. In simple words, homeostasis is the body's self-control and balancing system, like an automatic controller that keeps everything steady and healthy. It helps the body stay in the Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold, but just right. Next important long question is to elaborate on the transport of oxygen and write about oxygen dissociation curves. Transport of oxygen and the oxygen dissociation curve are two important topics in respiration. They explain how oxygen travels in the blood and how hemoglobin releases it to the body tissues. Transport of oxygen. Oxygen is carried in the blood in two ways. 1. Dissolved oxygen, very small amount. A small portion of oxygen dissolves directly in the plasma. But this is only 1–2%, so it is not enough for the body. 2. Oxygen bound to hemoglobin, main method. About 98–99% oxygen is carried by hemoglobin, Hb, inside RBCs. Each hemoglobin molecule can bind 4 oxygen molecules. When hemoglobin combines with oxygen in the lungs, it forms oxyhemoglobin. Process of oxygen transport. 1. In the lungs, oxygen concentration is high. Hemoglobin quickly picks up oxygen, forms oxyhemoglobin. 2. In the tissues, oxygen concentration is low. Hemoglobin releases oxygen so cells can use it for respiration. This ability to pick and release oxygen makes hemoglobin the oxygen delivery vehicle of the body. Oxygen dissociation curve, ODC. The oxygen dissociation curve is a graph that shows the relationship between oxygen concentration, partial pressure of oxygen, and how much oxygen hemoglobin is carrying. Shape of the curve. It is S-shaped, sigmoid curve. This shape helps hemoglobin load oxygen easily in the lungs and unload it quickly in tissues. Why S-shaped? Because hemoglobin binds oxygen cooperatively. When one oxygen molecule binds, it becomes easier for the next 3 to bind. Factors that shift the curve. These factors help hemoglobin release more oxygen. High CO levels. High temperature. Low pH, acidic conditions. Exercise or muscle work. This is related to the Bohr effect. Simple example to remember. Think of hemoglobin as a delivery truck. In the lungs, loading station, trucks load oxygen packages easily. In working tissues, unloading station, trucks drop the packages quickly. The oxygen dissociation curve shows how full or empty the truck is at different places. In short, oxygen transport is mainly done by hemoglobin, and the oxygen dissociation curve explains how hemoglobin picks up oxygen in the lungs and releases it in the tissues efficiently. Next important long question is 3. Write about the transport of CO2. Transport of carbon dioxide, CO, explains how the body removes the waste CO produced during cellular respiration. Since CO is toxic at high levels, the body has efficient ways to carry it from tissues to the lungs for exhalation. Ways CO is transported in blood. CO is transported in 3 main forms. 1. Dissolved CO in plasma, 5–10%. A small amount of CO dissolves directly in the blood plasma. Example, like sugar dissolving in water, CO dissolves in plasma and is carried to the lungs. 2. Carbamino compounds, 10–20%. CO can bind to hemoglobin and other proteins to form carbaminohemoglobin. This happens mainly in RBCs. Co attaches to the amino groups of hemoglobin without affecting oxygen binding. 3. Bicarbonate ions, 70–85%, main method. Most Co is converted into bicarbonate, HCO, in RBCs. Co plus HO, HCO, H plus HCO. The enzyme carbonic anhydrase speeds up this reaction. Bicarbonate leaves RBCs and enters plasma in exchange for chloride ions, Cl. This is called the chloride shift, which maintains electrical balance. Process in simple steps. 1. Co is produced by tissues during metabolism. 2. Co enters RBCs and forms bicarbonate. 3. Bicarbonate moves into plasma. Chloride ions enter RBCs. 4. In the lungs, bicarbonate is converted back to Co. 5. Co diffuses into the alveoli and is exhaled. Simple example to remember. Think of RBCs as co-taxis. Most Co is converted to a transportable form, bicarbonate. Some Co hitches a ride on hemoglobin. A little Co travels freely in plasma. At the lungs, all Co is dropped off and breathed out. Importance. Maintains blood pH by controlling acid levels. Prevents co-toxicity. Ensures efficient gas exchange and proper respiration. In short, co-transport is equal to 70–85% as bicarbonate, 10–20% bound to hemoglobin, 5–10% dissolved in plasma. Chloride shift ensures balance, and finally, Co is exhaled from the lungs. This system keeps blood clean and pH stable, helping the body function smoothly. Next important long question is: 4. Describe structure and functioning of mammalian heart. The mammalian heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood throughout the body. It is myogenic, meaning it can beat on its own without signals from the brain. The heart is located in the thoracic cavity, between the lungs, and is roughly the size of a fist. Structure of mammalian heart. 1. 4 chambers. Right atrium, RA, receives deoxygenated blood from the body via superior and inferior vena cava. Right ventricle, RV, pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. Left atrium, LA, receives oxygenated blood from the lungs via pulmonary veins. Left ventricle, LV, pumps oxygenated blood to the whole body via the aorta. Note, the left ventricle has thicker walls than the right because it pumps blood under high pressure. 2 valves. Atrioventricular valves, tricuspid and bicuspid, prevent backflow from ventricles to atria. Semilunar valves, pulmonary and aortic, prevent blood from returning from arteries to ventricles. 3. Septum. Divides the heart into left and right halves, preventing mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Functioning of mammalian heart. The heart works in 2 main phases. 1. Diastole, relaxation. Chambers relax, blood flows into atria and ventricles. 2. Systole, contraction. Ventricles contract, blood is pumped out to lungs and body. This cycle repeats continuously, creating the heartbeat. Conduction system. SA node, pacemaker, in RA initiates impulse. Impulse spreads to AV node bundle of his Purkinje fibers, causing coordinated contraction. Simple example. Think of the heart as a dual pump system. Right side pumps used water, deoxygenated blood, to the cleaning station, lungs. Left side pumps clean water, oxygenated blood, to the whole city, body. Importance. Supplies oxygen and nutrients to tissues. Removes CO and waste. Maintains blood pressure and circulation. In short, the mammalian heart is a 4-chambered, muscular, myogenic pump with valves and a conduction system, working continuously to maintain efficient circulation and supply oxygen to the body. Next important long question is 5. Elucidate the mechanism of blood clotting. Blood clotting, also called coagulation, is the process by which blood forms a solid clot to stop bleeding when a blood vessel is injured. This is a vital protective mechanism that prevents excessive blood loss and allows healing. Mechanism of blood clotting. Blood clotting involves 3 main steps. 1. Vascular spasm, vessel constriction. When a blood vessel is cut, the smooth muscles in its walls contract. This reduces blood flow to the injured area. Think of it like pinching a water hose to reduce leakage. 2. Platelet plug formation. Platelets, tiny blood cells, stick to the injured site. They release chemicals that attract more platelets. These platelets form a temporary plug over the wound. This is like patching a small hole with sticky tape. 3. Coagulation, formation of fibrin clot. Platelets and damaged tissues release clotting factors, proteins. These factors trigger a cascade of chemical reactions. Prothrombin-thrombin, then fibrinogen-fibrin. Fibrin threads trap red blood cells and platelets, forming a solid clot. This clot blocks the blood flow completely until the vessel heals. Simple example. Think of blood clotting as emergency repair work. 1. Vascular spasm is equal to turning off the main tap. 2. Platelet plug is equal to putting a temporary patch. 3. Fibrin clot is equal to building a strong cement wall to permanently seal the leak. Additional points. Clotting is tightly controlled, too little bleeding, too much blockage in vessels. Vitamin K is important for making clotting factors. Platelets and clotting factors work together in a cascade system, making clotting fast and effective. In short, blood clotting is equal to vessel constriction plus platelet plug plus fibrin clot formation. It is the body's natural first aid system, protecting us from blood loss and helping wounds heal efficiently.